Right, mods. Everyone loves them, everyone needs them, and of course, everyone wants to know what are some of the best mods to use in Rimworld. So today, we're going to ring in the new year by going through some mods we believe you should be using in 2022. Should mention some of these mods we went more in detail in previous videos, but some we just put in here. Though I should mention no mods from our top mods of 2021. Brent is gonna have to work harder to pick out some choice mods for you guys. I'm sure anyone who are fans of our work know what we are going to say. Say it with me, people. Vanilla Expanders is something you should look into. And who could blame us for saying it? It's a series of mods that keeps expanding to improve upon every aspect of the game, even aspects I didn't know I wanted, like ancient vaults full of superpowered beings. Oscar and his team are keeping the game alive and well, and I highly recommend keeping an eye on this Reddit or even support him on Patreon because he does a lot of great work, especially that Pirates mod. Oh my goodness, was it good. But on that note, there is a lot of Fallout mods, so much you'd definitely be able to recreate Fallout in Rimworld, all thanks to the Fallout Collaboration Project, or FCP, by Ranger, Rick, and many other modders. Me and Bren love the design of the mod, looking like the Fallout style mixed with Rimworld's distinct look. Bren told me his favorite among all the arms and armor is the Captain's Cosmos set. Super retro sci-fi right there. We might have to go back and talk more about some of these in the future when more mods come out. For this next mod, I'm thinking we go a bit old school. We got the Rimsenal mod set. It's all a great set of mods for those of us who love distinct weapons and armor, released all the way in 1.0 and in 2016. And only now that I'm saying this game has been around for a very long time. Go figure. This year, it was given a proper retexture to feel more like a modern release. What do you get? Well, you get weaponry and armor that actually do matter in the grand scheme of things. What do I mean by that? Well, the base Rimsenal has different companies who specialize in different kinds of combat. Yanhua Production produces weapons that do pretty good damage with bleed, but in exchange for not a lot of stopping power and range. Jotun, meanwhile, goes for high damage that pierces through armor, but it's super heavy, so your pawns are slowed down. Tisphone will give you weapons that do blunt damage and can slow down enemies, but the low power and range. Finally, Graysdale gear, which while isn't as flashy as the other stuff, can be modular and change how they operate, so you can change your tactics as need be. I love this system, and the best part is Rimsenal has more mods, ones that had factions and other for turrets and security, even one to have new storytellers. So for 2022, maybe look back a bit, might find a solid pick for your game. Now, this mod is also a bit of an oldie, but I always recommend it. To anyone playing Rimworld, Pair Carefully is simply a mod that lets you do your start however you want, change who you bring in, what you bring in, and so on. Seriously helpful for roleplays or just maybe tweaking that one random who has good traits but happens to have an addiction to 3 different kinds of snortables and somehow an addiction to bad polka. You know what some people love? Empire building. Some people live for that. One more turn mentally of Civilization Stellaris or some other game my writer isn't as familiar with. Now with the Empire mod, you can turn this colony simulator game into an Empire simulation game, allowing you to create new settlements and bases to provide resources to you. That and make soldiers to summon when you need just a bit of help when that one insect hive gets a little too big. Well, that's a problem. We'll take this. Incineration! Yeah, that was cool. And you can do this too with Rimworld of Magic, which is a mod we actually went over in a previous video, but to summarize, you get access to magic, classes, and spells, and now have new ways to commit war crimes. Or you can, recreate spooky, scary skeletons with a necromancer. I absolutely love this mod, and from other fans of Rimworld definitely feel the same way. Hey, let me know in the comments your favorite class. Bren is anything that can summon fire. Yeah, keep up the good work. Don't want it stinking up the joint. Oh hey everyone, you just caught us doing cleanup duty. Helps more with the Honest Corpses mod. All it does is give you an option to take all those corpses that pile up at your doorstep and turn it into something useful. Cause your cooks can only butcher so much before it overwhelms them and you get rotting, worthless corpses. This mod allows you the ability to turn the corpses into either chem fuel or bits of steel. There is also an option if you have bad hygiene to make biomatter. And if you have some extra herbs lying around, you can turn the bodies into nutrimine, fine. Maybe it's overpowered, but maybe I need more chem fuel, especially for the work with the next mod. Sometimes you need a little extra oomph when dealing with people who just don't get that hint that raiding highly trained pawns is a bad idea. Gas shells is great fun for defenses, giving different types of gases to launch at enemies, like sleep gas for easy capture, acid for painful damage over time, range for, well, ever see the Incredible Hulk think that without the super strength and me and Bren's favorite anti-insect or mechanoid gas that makes fighting them so much easier? Only issue is you will need to divert a lot of resources to get material for this, but it can really be worth the issues to build up. Plus, hey, it isn't Rimworld till you cause a war crime, and I think people can agree gas attacks kind of fits that description. But hey, there are ways to get more resources and maybe commit even more war crimes in the process. Take a deep drill and get some crude, or as some people call it, Texas tea. RIMFELLER lets you become an oil baron, turning all that crude into chem fuel, plastics for building, and even napalm. Yeah, that's right, napalm. And if you think gas is a horrible way to die, napalm is the gift that keeps on giving, and you can mass produce it and use it in shells or traps. If the neighbors don't get the hint that I don't want to join their potlucks, I don't know what will. This mod is classic for a reason, adding a new way to get power and materials, all without going against what Rimworld is all about. Even in 2022, it's still great to play. So, ever do an Icy North playthrough, you might want to get this next mod to help out with that proxy heat. This mod makes it so outdoor heat and cooling sources will work even outside. Think about it in real life. If you're out in the cold, if you are around a fire, you don't need some enclosed space to actually get warm. So with this in account, now pawns, if they need to heat up or cool down, will now go to the nearest source of heat, or could be it inside or outside. I love this simple mod for a realistic tweak to the game. And hey, it might actually help with doing the challenge up the north. Yeah? In the, the north. This next mod is great for those of us who love to make secure, self-reliant bases. Zombieland lets you live out your Walking Dead fantasies and, try and survive the outbreak of the undead, with many options, tweaking how the infection works, if you can even cure it, to even number of zombies and their special zombie variant, like tanky ones, or the annoying minor ones that make a mountain base possibly not the best one to work with. It's old school, but still great fun. Though, now I'm wondering if we could get an ideology meme based on this. Maybe worship the zombies who controlling them? Go on, get to work. That base won't build itself. Yeah, maybe don't use zombie labor though. Something I should mention when it comes to zombies or any playthrough location is key. And sometimes you get a map that just isn't that good. Thankfully, you don't have to restart and try again. With map reroll, you can now decide how the map is designed and live it. No idea how it works. I'm guessing looking into the code for the seed to figure out potential changes. I don't know. Though, word of advice, if you are using this and say vanilla expanded, any start that gives you a building or anything like say mechanoids, factories, or the ancient space, this mod will re-roll the map, but not take your start into account. Other than that, little hiccup, really useful when you just want the perfect start, at least until Randy decides you get to die that day. Though to go with map re-roll, I also recommend the map designer mod, which lets you alter the maps that loads in when you start a new game. Want an entire canyon with one easily defendable point? Go for it. How about more water? Also neat. How about solid rock? Weird, but you could do it if you really want to. This is again great for making the perfect maps you want to start in or for role-playing map purposes, and it really works well with map re-roll. If you don't see anything you want, go into mod options, tweak everything, then hit re-roll. Might be something better in the store for you. Still, Randy might take offense to all this reality bending, which he is the master of, let's be fair. Though if Randy does decide to send horrible things at you, don't just stand around gawking. Use run and gun to move in like it's old school too. Again, older mod, but I recommend this because Rimworld without it feels pretty stiff. Plus the mod has enemies doing the same to you, so it feels like a natural engagement. So yeah, install this mod and never look back. Now what Bren was happy to finally see brought to 1.3 was the CLOCKWORK and Steam mod, a mod that brings in the power of steampunk to the rim. Steampunk is an offshoot of cyberpunk, and as everyone knows, that's never not cool. This mod not only comes with cool weapons and gear, but even brass made bionics, new turrets, little wind-up animals to do your work, and even traits to go with this. Highly recommended, especially for medieval playthroughs. Be the only kingdom on the rim, with Tesla coils and petticoats. And robo-libs. Now this next mod will assume you are using vanilla cooking expanded, and I do love that mod. There is one problem: the condiment system only works for gourmet meal. Why can't I put my Luciferian flakes on my simple meal of cooked human flesh? No more! With sauce meals, this injustice will be rectified. You now can cook any tier of meal using condiments, gaining both a small mood buff of meal with condiments, but also the benefit of whatever the condiment is. Surprised this wasn't in vanilla expanded already, but hey, mods for mods, you are sure to always use deserve to be on this list. Besides, where else were we gonna talk about this? You know what I mean? Now, this mod just came out, but man oh man, it's a cool one. The RIMSENTIAL-SPACEPORT mod, allowing you to turn your boring old base into a spaceport, and not just any spaceport, a profitable one. Yeah, just research microelectronics, build the landing pads and space beacon, and wait for some paying customers to come down. You can make some fuel to sell to the landing ships and make a lot of profit, though you might get some other jobs, like allowing you a derelict to show up on your base at risk of the power source going full meltdown, to prisoner drop-off, and of course mysterious shipments landing that may or may not contain a horrible alien queen that would ruin your day. Huh, weird, I was always expecting Xenomorph. Anyways, this mod is great and even has support with royalty, save our ship, RIMEFELLER, and does bad hygiene. Hope to see more support and more from this mod. Though going away from the sky and space, we go deep underground. Many people love the tunnel beam. After all, mountains are a safe place to stay safe, insectoids notwithstanding. Of course, though, it does come with its own problems, like lack of variety of growables. You can't even grow heal root without some sort of light, which kinda goes against the mushroom's requirement for darkness. Tunnel Expanded is here to the rescue with many different growables and items to make underground living less like hell and more like Dwarf Fortress, though given what I know about forts in that game might not be too much of a difference, you know what I mean? You get campfires and coolers that use fungus for fuel, different types of mushroom for faster growing but less yield, and a higher yield but less growing speed, fungus for fibers, fungus and even fungus that has insects in them, so you have a meat source. It's insect meat, but hey, meat is meat when you are making kibble or food to give you out to, you know, charity. This is a great mod for underground playthroughs and makes it much easier to just stay underground rather than make some outdoor area for outdoor plants before hydroponics. And the campfires and coolers that use fungus is great for areas that might not have a lot of trees, like deserts and icy areas, so good touch. Alright, so let me see if I get this straight. If you dance around a fire, you will summon rain, which will help your crops. That's about it. Step 12 wouldn't work. Well, let's give it a shot. Right, it was step 12, step to summon rain, and this will summon rain. So yeah, sometimes you gotta be careful with rituals, more so with more rituals rewards, which, as the name implies, adds new effects for rituals like rain dances, summoning meteors or ship chunks, to even somehow inciting a raid upon your land, which, if you ask me, is my favorite. After all, gotta keep the meat locker full. Simple and definitely a mod to always use if you play with ideology. Now for another simple but cool mod, the Colonist DECO mod allows your colonists to actually decorate their own rooms, adding some beauty to their room, not to mention train their construct skill. Personally, I think art skills would make more sense, but the fact they can still get a bit of learning boost during downtime is pretty neat, and adds a bit of immersion out there on the rim. Can't wait to see more, and maybe some mod support like making decorations based on other mods you might have included in your game. This next mod is also simple but a great bit of quality of life. No job authors removes the author of any crafting job. What this means is when a pawn works on a suit of armor, if they stop, that suit can be worked on by some other pawn. The rules of pawn skill do still apply, so pawns with 2 crafting will put out bad work, with level 20 putting out great. It's also useful when you suddenly get a creativity inspiration and can move that pawn into a crafting job without having to start all over any of the work. For our final mod, a personal favorite of Bren's, Science Never Stops, this mod is a total endgame, and I mean it. If you want to even access the stuff, you have to go through the ship research before even hitting the research to let you fathom the great sciences you will learn. And it will take a long time, trust me when I say it's going to be hard to pull off, but when you do it, you will have a base of unstoppable monsters that no foe can hold back. This is definitely an overpowered mod, but it's also beautifully designed mod that rewards patiences and rewards them with super powerful gear. Bren loves it, I think it's pretty cool, and I hope you think it's a good mod to go out on. With how crazy the years have been as of late, we might need some super powered gear to get through it all. But you know what else also gets me through the day? You guys hitting that subscribe button and potentially coming to support us on Patreon. Gotta say thanks to everybody that helped us make this video. Credit roll, please. Everybody that joined us on Patreon. I'm so happy that you guys have been here with us for an entire year. It's been a great year going into 2022, which this video is probably going to be coming out a little bit late. It's been a great time, guys. Thank you.